Hello, students. Welcome again in the class of English Literature. In the previous video, we have read the poem Dover Beach. In that video, we have covered its starting two parts. As we know, this poem has 4 parts. Now, in this video, we will look at the part number 3rd and 4th and their explanation line by line. The sea of faith was once too at the full, and around earth's shore lay like the folds of a bright girdle furled. But now I only hear its melancholy, long withdrawing roar, retreating to the breath of the night wind down to the vast azes drear and nagged singles of the world. Here you can see that this is a stanza of 8 lines. In the first 2 lines, we see that suddenly things are getting deep. The sea is used as a metaphor. Sea of faith represents the ocean of religious beliefs in the world. All of our faith put together means all kind of religions, as whether it Hinduism, Christianism, Jewish, Islam, Buddhism, Jainism, all the beliefs, all the religions. Here, noticeable thing is that the poet has capitalized this term and put it all by itself at the top of the stanza. So we are sure to notice that it is super important. Further, the poet says that there was a time when that sea of faith was at high tide, full, just like the English Channel is right now. Its meaning is that in earlier times, the religion was more important in people's lives. In the next line, the poet is saying that the ocean of faith was at its height. It was like a bright girdle. Girdle means a fancy belt. Furled means rolled up around the world. Now, we can see that the poet has used a simile to compare his already metaphorical ocean to a beautiful belt. Now, in the next 2 lines, the speaker thinks the sea of faith is a long way from high tide. It's ebbing, means it is getting lower, just like the ocean does. The only sound he hears now is the roar of faith pulling away. The world's loss of faith makes our speaker truly miserable. And these things are happening only because of the discoveries of science, which is destroying all the beliefs about human origin or genesis. Now, in the next 2 lines, the poet is saying that faith is retreating from the world. Retreat means piche hatna. It ebbs to the breath of the night wind. Here, the poet is pointing out that the faith is becoming weak and weak day by day, and the world is becoming more and more miserable. Now, in this last line, we are in the last line of this part of the poem. The poet is saying that the once the sea of faith recedes or moves behind, it will leave only desolate beach behind it, means a dreary world behind it. The image of this kind will produce only and only sadness in the world. Now we will move towards our stanza number fourth, the final part of this poem. Ah, love, let us be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy, nor love, nor light, nor certitude, nor peace, nor help for pain, and we are here as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. Now, at the opening lines of the last stanza, we are back where we were at the beginning of the poem, in the room at the edge of English Channel in the town of Dover. The speaker finally lets us know who is talking to. He is talking to his love, his beloved, his wife. We spent the whole last stanza hearing about the fate of the world and the metaphorical ocean of faith. So, this feels like a pretty big shift. Suddenly, the speaker's tone is personal, intimate, even desperate. Even if he was clinging to his love to escape the terrifying things he had just been describing. The idea of lovers being true to each other also picks up on the image of lost faith from above. Even if the world has lost its faith, maybe they, in their smaller way, can hold on to some of it. Now, in the next two lines, we have to see these lines collectively with the previous lines because we have use of enjambment here. The lines because the poet is saying that world is lying down before us like a land of dreams which is so various, so beautiful and so new. This happy world is various, that just means full of variety and of course beautiful and new. We think there might be a little allusion to the story of Adam and Eve, the couple alone together with a beautiful new world before them. Now, in the next two lines, the poet sees the truth of world. He says that in reality the world is not so as we think of it. All of things that should make the world wonderful are gone. There is no joy, no love, no light, no certitude. Certitude means certainty or security, and no help for pain. The speaker has clearly lost that faith he was talking about in the third stanza. Now, the last three lines. Arnold brings the whole things to a crashing finish here with a famous simile. He begins the simile in the line comparing the faithless ugliness of the world in a flat and lightless place, a darkling plain. He calls it a darkling plain. Darkling means dark, Plain means place. In the final two lines, the speaker says that he and his love are not just stuck in the dark, but they are swept by noise and confusion. People are struggling, running away, and sounding alarms. Further, the poet says that the world is not merely a dark and comfortless place, it is a battlefield. But on this battlefield, the fighters cannot see each other. They are fighting at night and presumably killing their friends as well as their enemies. There is no marching, no even lines, no fancy hats and polished buttons, just misery, pain, terror, and confusion. Means a clash. That was the whole explanation of this poem. I guess you all got the idea of this poem and the explanation of this poem. Thanks for watching the video. We will meet in the next video with a new poem. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.